let's check. Are we on it on Twitch? Okay. Service is fine. Oh, wait. I did not pull that out. I didn't do the announcement. There is a test stream, so no announcements. Are we on? Okay. YouTube thinks we're on. Not quite. Not quite. Not quite. Twitch isn't sure either. Recent thinks we're on. YouTube. Ah, here we go. I think that's it. Takes it a little while. And I think there we are. Jody come through? And I think there we are. Yep, there we are. Ooh, okay. Well, welcome to Code Hangout number 139. Today we're gonna pull out the puzzle metadata. So, since the last stream, I was fiddling a little bit more with the data. And basically, so I have a table here now, which is basically a raw import of the puzzles that are in the API right now. But there's a lot of duplicates, basically more than half of them. So I basically made a second table called Puzzle Store, and I'm basically cleaning up things a little bit to go into Puzzle Store, right? And I want to organize this code so I can rerun it from scratch on fresh new data as well, without any big problems, right? So let's have a quick gander what we have now here. In fact, let's minimize all of these, right? So we have initdb, which sets out our database and creates all the indexes we want. Then we want load raw puzzles, which... Or was it insert raw puzzles? Okay, one of those two... Where's load raw puzzles? I think it got renamed. Yeah, I think load raw puzzles no longer exist. So let's get rid of that. So we have insert raw puzzles. So that basically loads the files and just inserts them in parallel. Which we really... Okay, so we want to change this. I'm going to put a to-do item in here. So, to-do... Because now I know about the bulk tasks, right? In fact, what it's called? Bulk ops, right? So to do bulk ops. And eventually there'll be a bulk right, yeah. To do convert this to use bulk right. So then we should not have to do our own partial parallelization that we did in insert raw puzzles, right? So that should speed this up and not have this clunky code. So that just does a raw import into API puzzles, and API puzzles is almost like a backup of the physical data that we currently have. So in case I mess something up anywhere else, I can always go back and look at the OG data. Then we have create puzzle store. Now, create puzzle store, the goal of create puzzle store is basically to it's 3-ish fold, mostly twofold, right? Twofold, basically, it does a basic validation of the data, and it does basic deduplication, right? So basic validation. So I have a list of IDs here. Basically, these I've excluded manually. So most of these are basically corrupted. So there's an issue where on AWS, on Amazon servers, they eliminate double slashes in URLs, which is really annoying. And some of those puzzles can be recovered by basically guessing what slashes have been deduplicated by basically just trying all the different slashes and putting 2 slashes in instead of 1. But some of these puzzles, they just have too many slashes. And, it, you know, I've tried, like, there's a puzzle I've tried, I don't know, 13 million different combinations of doubling their slashes. It has 30 slashes. It's a mess, right? Now, in the future, I want to actually also have a look at seeing if I can find puzzles that are very similar to each other, just from the raw data, the compressed data. It might not be possible because, you know, a small change might change a lot in the compressed data, but also might be possible. I know, for example, that the beginning of the compressed data is very similar for a lot of puzzles because they all start with, you know, JSON data and all that. So then maybe I can go back and find similar puzzles because maybe the user the setter realized there was a problem with the puzzle. They made a small change and re-uploaded a new puzzle that's basically the same puzzle. So hopefully we can find puzzles that are very, very similar and use them to kind of figure out what the errors in the compressed data and manually kind of patch them up. But of course, right now they don't work. So there's no pressure to actually extract them because nobody's using them because they don't work. There are a handful of puzzles where the data is corrupted in a weird way where just extra characters are in. So I just manually added them here as a sort of inline correction for where I could see that. And then it basically kind of filters out some issues with different parts of the string data, kind of different formats, different ways of decompressing them in different orders. And basically these are the ones that it doesn't find. And I don't know, there's like 30 or 40 of these. It's not too many. Let me see how long this is. It's 1082 and it's about, wait, it's, is it 10 characters per ID? Plus 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 14 characters. So 1082 divided by 14. I need a, so we have 1082 divided by 14. So it's about, yeah, less than 100, right? Which isn't too bad. Then what we do is we basically store the decompressed data. We're not parsing it just yet because SCF data obviously is not JSON. Most of the other formats are, but it also basically gets rid of like same version because technically puzzles can be uncompressed as JSON data in the old format as well. So by kind of decompressing them all, we kind of catch more duplicates, right? And then it basically calculates a hash. And I think I checked that the hash is, there's no hash collisions, right? In the future, we'll have to do something smarter here because we have to deal with potential hash collisions, right? Even though they should be unlikely. And then it basically saves the puzzle data, the JSON string or the decompressed data, right? The hash and an array of all the short IDs because obviously, you know, multiple short IDs can point to the same puzzle data. It's just currently it's duplicated. And this eliminates about half of the puzzles. So we have roughly, you know, we're roughly storing every puzzle twice. You know, many of them are stored once, but there's some that are stored 27 times. I don't know how it happened there, right? And it gets us down to 46 megabytes, which is much easier and much faster to deal with. The original data is like 160 or something, right? And now, this step we've done in the first stream, but now I'm basically... we basically extracted structured data from API puzzles. Now I want to base it on puzzle store with the deduplication, all that stuff. So basically now I want to rebuild what we did originally. Now knowing that all this data should be okay, there might be a few more IDs that decompress, but where the JSON is still broken, right? Although I think I actually check for that. I think I try to parse the JSON. So at least we know the JSON parses, but it might not be valid puzzles either. Ultimately, I'd like to push all the broken puzzle IDs to the top, to block them at the import and not deal with them later on, right? And then after all this is done, later on we can do like a project of seeing if we can recover some of them, right? Okay, so now we've done inside row puzzles. We have create puzzle store, and these were the ones we worked with earlier. And I think I put an explore puzzle store here just to have a look at the data, right? But before we had create puzzle info and parse puzzle raw. I think parse puzzle raw was a bunch of experimentation. So these probably we won't need. So we basically want to go back to create puzzle info and make sure that's well, we need to rebuild it, right? So that's going to be now based on puzzle store. Now, what we did with puzzle info prior, we have a bunch of info, but some of that info we added in later stages, right? So this is the one that needs to be rebuilt now, and needs to be based on puzzle store. And I think I want to roll all the other steps that I've done with parse puzzle raw into here, which means, what do we have here? Author, title, all this sort of stuff. What I'm gonna do, I think, because I don't want to lose I don't want to lose the existing puzzle info. So we're probably gonna see if we can rename this and just call it puzzle info 2. Yeah. Rename. All right. And now if I rerun this and don't run this, should we get a new puzzle info 1? Let's see. Back here, refresh. Yes. So now we have an empty puzzle info and we have a puzzle info too. So now we can use this as a sort of reference to make sure that the new puzzle info will have the data that we need, right? And let's get started. So here, we did this. We probably... So what we did later, what we learned later about, because this was before I learned about aggregate stuff. I used the aggregate, because the other thing about the script is I wanted to be able to run on partial data, I want to be able to run it and update things, right? So it shouldn't just start from scratch and do all the work over and over and over. It should be able to run partway through, stop, and then restart, and then continue, right? So it should be able to exclude things that already exist. And I think I figured that out with the aggregate functions down here. But we still sort of more or less use all of this stuff. So let's just kind of start with this, and let's leave the old code there as a reference, right? We want not API puzzles, we want puzzle store now, right? And these can be constants, right? And then we want to aggregate on puzzle info, not really. So we want to aggregate. We want to aggregate on puzzle info? Puzzle info aggregate. So the puzzle info aggregate should help us with finding things that already exist. I'm trying to look at the old code, like, because unfortunately I was a bit stupid. I kind of changed the code and then forgot that I wanted to be able to rerun everything, so I need to actually keep the code around as steps, right? Or at least join them together into a single step. So this was supposed to work. Look up local field as join. Yeah, so this was based on the existing information after the first import. So maybe we can't do that just yet. All right, so let's think about it, right? In the puzzle info, we want basically one matching entrant for each of these things in puzzle store, for each items in puzzle store. Puzzle info needs to have short IDs, counter ID, author, format, yada, yada, yada. All right. And it's the hash that's kind of the unique key. So it's a 1-1 match on API puzzles. So do we want, at this point, do the whole stepping through the puzzles and extracting authors and all this stuff? Probably. So let's see where the code is that did that earlier. Because that's kind of the hard stuff here. Because we actually have parsed data, right? So it's kind of like this is the hard thing. And basically what all of this does is make sure it only handles those that don't exist yet. The thing is, this is already based on the fact that puzzle info is pre-seeded with one copy of each of those. So we actually don't want to aggregate on puzzle info. We want to aggregate on puzzle store. Because puzzle info is empty at this point, right? So we want to aggregate on puzzle store. And if we do something like that, it'll just do a total count, right? Oh yeah, and we don't need to initialize the database at this point. All right, so that gives us a total. And now we kind of want to do all that extraction stuff that we just looked at, and I lost already this part, right? So I don't like the syntax highlighting on the commented code. So, okay, so basically what we did, yes. So we did separate parsings of different formats, and we basically made sure that we're not doing it on those that already have it, right? So let's see if we can do the lookup here. That's basically the kind of main thing that we need. So we can probably just get rid of all that. So we'll do a lookup from puzzle store. And the local field is actually going to be hash. No, wait, we don't. No, wait. All right. The reason I'm confusing myself is because at this point we have nothing matching in puzzle info. It's empty, right? So actually at this point we just need to do a bulk transfer. Except we don't really need to do we don't even need to do a aggregate, right? Although we can use aggregate. I mean, I think an aggregate without bits in it is basically a find without a query, right? If I do limit 5 or limit 1 or 2 and output them all, it's basically just the full data that gets output, right? So let's do a limit 1 and let's just see what we can do with this one set of data and see what we can get out of it, right? Because at this point, we're assuming this data already exists. So we need to figure out where this data is actually getting created. Yeah, you see, I think the code that created the SCL data and the FBuzz data is not here anymore. The other problem I'm just realizing is, did I not keep the format data in Puzzle Store? No. All right. That is a problem, right? Because we don't have the format data. That's stupid. We need that. So we actually need to reparse the data into Puzzle Store and make sure we hold on to that format data, because otherwise we don't know how to parse it. We'll have to guess, and it'll be a huge mess, right? That was silly of me. Okay. So this is the part that does that. Let's do a limit 3. And we can probably get rid of that. We need to, like, clean that up as well anyways. Don't need that. Don't need that. If we do a limit 1, and the first one doesn't fail, but we do want to skip the insert many, right? If we run this, did I change it? Yes. Insert ID. What does this do, and why does it fail? Count 1. Key puzzle's length is 1. Let's output. Maybe it'll tell us why the first. Oh, well. This should come through to here. Is it maybe... Where else would it drop out? Because every time it drops out of the loop, it should output something, right? Yeah. So, skipping... Oh, invalid data. Okay, so it's this. The first one is actually invalid data. Although, I thought this is one of the ones that we're actually fixing. But it could be that after fixing it, it's still invalid, right? Oh. Oh. So I'm guessing this is in the list of bad data, huh? Okay, it's in the list. So it means even after fixing this error, the rest of it is still also broken. Okay. So, invalid raw data. Should we just exclude that up here? So if we do a match, I believe. And we'll do, and we'll probably need a browser window with some MongoDB docs. Node.js match string in array. Can we do something like this? So we should be able to do in short ID, something like that. In, if I put this above, I'll rename that to invalid short IDs. I mean, they're not invalid short IDs, they're short IDs of invalid raw data. Just to keep things spicy and confusing. All right. If we do that, invalid raw data is not invalid raw data. Invalid, find invalid raw. Okay. So it should, if we get rid of that, I removed the thing that did the count like an idiot. I'm gonna have to put all those things back anyway, so might as well bring them back. Create puzzle store limit. Count. Creating cannot read property of undefined. Reading 0. What? Count 72. Count doc 1. Why do we get a count of 72 before we get the first doc? Oh, because there's only one. Yeah, okay. Because I'm actually outputting the count. Okay, not in. All right, so match string, not in. Not in multiple errors. Just one. NIN. Okay, I hope there was like a negation of it. So personally, I don't like this kind of syntax. I wish there was like a not syntax, and there is, but it's like more nesting of objects, which is so eh. Okay, so now count is 4925 whatever, right? So now the first item should be a valid puzzle that's not in that list. Yeah, and we can get rid of all this down here. All right, so that should get us valid data, or data that after conversion is valid, right? And then we can get rid of this. Skipping invalid data should never happen now. Okay. And this we can probably turn into a regex, because it's basically different variants of this, right? Equal, or just a well, we can just do this, or this. Should be the same, right? Okay. Now, after all that conversion stuff, we'll end up down here. And we're outputting puzzle index. Let's output that. So puzzle index is basically the data we're going to write. So puzzle index, yeah. And the puzzle index doesn't have the format in it. Okay. So where do we get the format? Is this where the format exists, or is it further down the line? Format. So it should go in here as this. Short IDs, hash, puzzle index. Short IDs. Yeah, I'm just thinking, does it make sense to put this into a singular thing? The problem is this doesn't exist yet, because this will be undefined, right? And this, so before this is initialized, this element, so I'd have to force initialize it first, and it might be cleaner to do that, right? So if we'll do this equals that or that, right? That'll force initialize it. And now we basically can just object assign to it. We can take that, assign to it this new object, which will have a hash, puzzle data, and short IDs. If I do this, and then the short IDs here will actually be this. So it'll be this, which is now guaranteed to be instantiated as an empty array, and that. And then we can overwrite that like that, not the other way around. And then we don't need that. Oops. Okay. Yeah, and then we don't need that anymore. I think that should be more appropriate. We can still do this actually. And we can also do this. So we can just kind of do that, right? We'll have our default here. We'll have the current value. And then we'll have the new object. And then that's all added here. All right. And then that should get us something. Oh, we got close embrace here. Let's put a comma there just for future sanity. Yeah. Another one. Okay. Reading short ID. Kind of probably just undefined reading short IDs. This. Oh, I'm an idiot. So, by moving it back into the same assignment statement, so either I make this bulletproof by basically, doing something like this, like that, right? Like that, or I make two separate assignment statements. But I think if I do this, it'll be fine. And I think we have the space here too. Space is out a little bit for breathing. Oops. Okay, we still have a problem on undefined or null to object. Cannot convert undefined or null to object. Undefined or null. Oh, well. So, and now I'm back to, like, should I just reinitialize it, right? Anyway, this'll do for now. This is something I've never kind of satisfied myself with. Like, I like having it as a single statement, but I don't like having to duplicate this code. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter at all. It's just, it feels a bit ugly. All right. So that gets us short IDs, but what we're still missing is the format. So I should be able to now just add the format here. So with the hash, so we should be able to just add format here. Now, format might be empty at this point, and I think I'm okay with just having it as an empty string at that point. So now if I go to Puzzle Store and refresh that, can I don't know which one will have the format. Ah, because I'm not writing that data. Okay, so we don't want to output all of this, right? So right now we're only outputting this down here, I believe. No, we're also outputting the doc at the top. And the format here. And the doc. Now we shouldn't have any per row output. And then we should be able to just, let's bring these in. They just show the first three and the last three. And if we remove the limit, it should just work for all of them, right? Man, this object syntax is so ugh. All right, we have another invalid. We shouldn't go. We shouldn't be able to get to here anymore. What I don't know here is which of these catches did it. Like, no, it means it failed all of them, right? All right, so these should be like the first and the last three. I don't know why I'm actually outputting those. They were interesting when I wasn't sure what I was getting at all. And now 34 seconds. Okay. So you see this doesn't take a long time. Oh, duplicate key error collection. Puzzle repository index hash 1 dup key. We do have a duplicate key. Okay, so that is actually a problem. It is only a problem if the data is different. Then we have a hash collision. But it's possible that the data is the same. So it's possible that my deduplication here doesn't work. What did I do? Duplicate key error collection puzzle store index hash 1 dup key. I think it could also be because it's trying to write more data into it rather than upsearching. So we actually want to delete all of this data. So we want to delete all of it. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point. Where we're at here is that we can just delete everything. All right, now if I rerun it, we shouldn't get the duplicate error. Because I was just bulk writing, right? Without, yeah, exactly. It didn't write anything. It's not like collided on 1 or 2 or something. All right, here we go. And I'm outputting all of them for some reason. What the heck? Did I output the full index? No. Oh, I forget that insert many returns like a full thing here. So we don't actually want to do that. So let's see if we can actually find out. If we can find out just what the return value is of insert many. Yeah, I think that should do the trick. All right. Again, only 38 seconds, so not actually a problem. My nose is itching. Sorry about that. I'm not picking my nose. It's just, I don't know, it's itching. Okay, refresh here. Find. There we go. And we have 47,075. Yeah, the problem with that scrolling like that is it basically removes the information from my screen of any kind of prior issues. Alright, but now we should have format data. Now, let's see if I remember how to select with match. No, am I getting this wrong? Format not equal empty string. Does that work? Or equal to empty string. Okay, how many are there? 4,739. Okay. Now the equal to empty string ones could also be the native ones. So we'll basically have to assume they're SCL format, right? Because they don't have a format specifier. Okay, so so that's this step. So that's puzzle store loaded with formats. Now we can go back to puzzle info, what we were looking at before. And now we'll just do that. Okay, and now we have the format here. Now we're going back to the code that we were looking at before for extracting author and title and all that stuff, right? Now the problem is we don't have this stuff yet, and I don't know if we have the code that actually creates this. Like, I don't see anywhere where it's actually parsing the puzzle. And we did have the JSON here. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna just do them one type of puzzle at a time. If I do a limit like that, right? And I'll do something like const And what do we have? We have hash, format, puzzle data, short IDs. From the doc, right? And we're just gonna output format. Just like that, right? And it should get us 5 formats, in theory. Great. Puzzle info. No, I'm typing in the wrong place. That's dangerous. All right. That is quite a danger. Great puzzle info. Yes. Okay. So limit 5. So do this. This doesn't make sense here. And that should get us 5 format strings. Good. So switch format. Case fpus. Break. Default. Error. Unhandled format. I use stringify here, so it's easier to see an empty string. Console.log handle fpus. Boom. So that should just say handle fpus 5 times. And now the puzzle data should already be decompressed. We don't actually want to look at fpus first. We want to look at so we want to match format. Format. I recall how this works. Format. SCL. So now it should say unhandled format SCL, right? We should be able to do SCL here and SCL there. Now we should go. Nope. Nope. Don't know where that colon came from. Okay, handle SCL. And let's do 2. Let's do 1. We have puzzle data here, and a bunch of short IDs, I imagine. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Try catch. And I'm gonna clean that up after. JSON equals JSON.parse puzzle data. JSON. Yeah, so that's the thing we're gonna have to deal with now. Because how do we end up with bad JSON data here? Oh no, this is zipped. Okay. So we did the whole song and spiel and dance, whatever you want to call it here, with all of this, right? So I kind of actually want to wrap this. I don't want to have to do this ever again. Okay, so puzzle parsing, we should have a safe decompressed puzzle data. And then we should have a safe unzip or safe JSON parse. So safe JSON parse puzzle data. And it'll basically do more or less the same kind of ladder where it basically says, okay, is this just pure JSON? Can we parse it? Yes, good. No. Next step, right? So we're gonna do this, right? And then let me just that here. And it basically we want to do this, right? So basically first we see, is this pure JSON? We can parse it. We'll just return it. Right. If that fails, we'll try again, but we unzip it first. Right, we'll do this. And I wonder if I can get rid of these brackets. Will that work? I might not be able to. And then if we get to the bottom, it might still be compressed, and we'll try that. Ooh. At this point, I think we'll just do a row air. No, I don't think I can skip the braces on this kind of thing. But right. We'll do this. Yeah, we can't skip them. How annoying. And this is just making it so big. For no freaking reason. Why is this not a standard block syntax? Come on. Come on. We have syntax for that. Unexpected property name. Data. Okay, so this one worked, right? So we do want to do this here. Because we still want to, you know, the data could still ultimately, the parsing could still ultimately fail. There we go. So that gets us the JSON data. All of it. All right. And now the next step is to figure out to get to pull out authors and titles and stuff. And we did a little bit of something, right? We have this. Get puzzle meta prop. And that takes the JSON data, I believe. All right, so we should be able to do this. So at this point, actually, we can do this before we go in here. Not necessarily. Should safety code always return? Because, we could just, if data is not a string, we could just return the data. I think that makes sense, right? If type of data is not equal to string, return data, right? And it shouldn't throw under as many circumstances. So we might not have to check it here. We can just treat it as a sort of catastrophic error. Not necessarily outside here. Probably don't want to output that at that point, right? And now we'll do the get meta prop. And then we'll do something like console.log author. Oop. JSON. Oop. Author. So we should be able to do something like that. Okay. And we can do something like that. Author. Cool. That. Whoa, okay. Alright, slow down, buddy, here. Title. Right. And then we'll just do like that. That should get us author and title. And we'll do something like format. For some reason. That there. And let's do 5. Boom. Oop. All right. Now, for example, we have 2 puzzles here with the same author and title, but different hashes. So that's the other thing, right? So now we're going to get duplicates on author title. And that's where the second step comes in with, you know, doing the counter IDs, right? So counter ID collisions are going to be quite important. Author counter ID. All right, so we have kind of this piece of code like this. So probably what I'm going to do up here is I'm going to do let author title counter ID, right? And then we'll do it in here like that. Right. Put that down here. We'll do counter ID. Wait, counter ID plus JSON. Wait. Wait, counter ID. Oh, okay. Do we need... Can we do it based on author and title? I think we'll just do it based on author and title here. So if I do author unknown, then title untitled, and then I can get rid of that. That. I don't know why that's indented, right? Do this. Something like that. Make sure this error message is actually going to be useful. And then we just pass author and title in there. Author. And I guess that can happen down here. So, actually, that. Right? Now, if we don't match by format, what do you get? Thing is, we'll have a lot of fpuzzles here. If I get rid of these, if I get rid of this as well, I'll get the errors. And I can do continue. If I do something like 50. Unhandled format fpuzz. Okay. So if we do the same thing for fpuzz now, and then we'll go, don't need that actually. So we'll do the same thing for fpuzz. And I think this is actually the same. So I think we can just do that. Right? So what if something a little fancier? We'll do counter ID. Boom. Okay. Then we'll have something like this. Okay. This we don't actually care for. All right. So we want to look at these guys here where title is empty. We'll do if title is an empty string. We'll output the puzzle data. And we'll break. We'll just stop. JSON's not defined. Yeah. Well, let's make the JSON also a variable so we can not there. All right. So, what I actually need to look for in this case is where the metadata comes from. Text. cage. Odd. I don't actually see. Okay, this because this has no info either way. What about these guys though? Oh, I was looking at title. All right. Author. Yeah, unfortunately, no. I want to distinguish. No, I don't need to distinguish empty string from like a blank value because nobody's gonna put a blank value in that isn't equivalent to an empty string. I mean, that isn't equivalent to no value. All right, so we do have a title, but we don't have anything else. All right, all right. The JSON data is not super helpful. Port IDs. If I do that, they're gonna be more or less useful. Because now I should be able to just go to one of these and open the puzzle and see what's what. Now I don't know why it doesn't have unknown as the author. Oh, okay, so that's the difference, right? It does have an author given, but it is given as blank. I wonder why. This is a CTC video. I think I remember this from a CTC video. I wonder why. And are they all like that? Well, they should be because the data should be the same, right? But there's one other thing I can do. If I go into my analytics, and I look for page is no. If I go for property title is serial killers. Is there a puzzle that has authors? So there is a version that has an author. Is it the same puzzle? No. So there's just more than one puzzle with that name. And which are the IDs I found here? So we have HS blah 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 J2. We have RY blah blah. And we have another one here that doesn't show up at all in here. And then we have that one with the same title, but that's the Bill Murphy puzzle. Okay, so this is the sort of thing, right? Like, puzzle with the same names, with the same titles is going to happen. Why this doesn't have an author, I don't know. But it's been explicitly set that way in the data. So now we obviously have to deal with that, right? We can't just say, oh, let's replace it with unknown. While the author is technically unknown, it's not configured that way, right? So an empty title is different. And I guess we kind of need to be wary of that because we cannot group all puzzles with an empty author under the same author, right? But I'm kind of going a little ahead of myself. Like, I'm trying to validate here. Not so much validate. I want to see if there's stuff that I need to validate, right? In reality, at this step, I just should extract the data that's available, put it into puzzle info, and then the step afterward would be looking at puzzle info and saying, okay, give me all the empty authors. Now let's look at the puzzle and see what they have in common, if there's something we can tell about them, right? So the real tragedy is, or the real thing we need to worry about really is if this doesn't work out. If we have an exception here, right? So we probably don't want to do any of this. And we'll probably just want to run this for all the puzzles, right? Just you know, without the limit and without the format. And I think think yeah, let's deal with the other puzzles next, the other formats, right? So here we'll say not or, right? And then it's format fpuz. Actually, if I do not in, if I do format not in, I think this is what I want to do. Format not in fpuz SCL not in format match. And if I do this, right, what do we get? Pack. Okay, SCF. And if I do count and just do this and break, so we get 4,741. All right. I mean, putting them all out, that's what people. I'm just thinking because format. Okay, so empty formats are likely the legacy puzzles if they can JSON decode. So those might be worth looking at, and probably do something with, right? What else we got? We have SCF and we have pack. SCF may or may not include author and title. Pack does not. Pack might actually. If I look at a pack format file, right? Because I know the pack, so packs should have titles and authors, right? So we might actually be able to just handle packs here. So what if we do that? Yeah, so the packs are actually getting handled. Title, author, title. Okay. Yeah. I think the packs are actually compatible here, which is surprising. So let's exclude packs as well, and the empty ones, which we'll do in a minute. So the final ones are the SCFs, and SCFs are obviously those are the most different ones. If I do this, right, it's because some SCFs will have an author, right? The problem is we'll need to decode those, and the decoder for the SCF format is it's not complicated. It's just not in the libraries I think that I have access to it on the server. So I think it's in puzzle tools. So we might have puzzle tools already here. Puzzle tools. So let's have a look at that first before I go chasing the original code, the OG. I don't think we need that. So this will be under libs and puzzle tools. And it might not be up to date, so I might have to update it here a little bit. Decode SCF. Now, does this support the new metadata stuff? It sure looks like it. So let's try it. So puzzle tools, puzzle tools. Are we doing anything with puzzle tools? Not really. Yeah, goes here. Boom. Tools. Boom. So in theory, we go down here and do this. Let's see what happens. All right. So maybe that's all we need to do. Holy moly. So empty SCF becomes this big. Ay. All right. So I guess here all we're really doing is replacing this with decode. That's the only change. Boom. If I do this and I go back down here and run that again, we should have authors and title, including, you know, the standard stuff. All right. So let us consider SCF as handled. What's left then? I think only the blank ones. Okay. So let's deal with the blank ones. And let's deal with them a few at a time. Now, the thing is, not all of them will be, you know, this might include corrupt ones, right? But I think safety code puzzle data should work. Largely, that's kind of what it's designed to do, right? So in theory, this will work until it doesn't. And this will, of course, include a lot of missing authors and titles because we didn't used to add them in the old puzzles, right? The feature just wasn't available yet. So now I think I can remove this check, and it should be. One sec. I've got one of the dog's hairs on my keyboard, and now I have a white keyboard. I really see them. Holy moly! Got a white keyboard, by the way. Should go with the new white computer. Hey, I hope it's not going to be a complete disaster because I eat my desk a lot. Yeah, we don't want to look at that. All right, format hash. Boom. It should be able to just run through all of these without blowing itself to pieces, right? Okay, so that takes care of these. Now, raw puzzle length we won't have here, but we should be able to catch that if we pull it from the. Do we want to do it per short ID? I'm not sure. I think we can skip that for now. Although it might be useful to just like, hey, what's the biggest puzzles and so on. Anyway, so right now we need format. We need the JSON data, which we'll have here. So I think these two can actually go down here as well now. It's really just the difference between decode SCF and JSON, right? And I think we don't need JSON SCF and JSON blah. We can just look at the format and know what kind of JSON it is, right? Author, counter ID, title. Okay, I think we kind of have everything we want to put into our puzzle info. So we need the bulk ops. And I'm so lazy. I'm actually gonna. I am gonna copy that from down there. So bulk ops, boom. And then, or do we just mass insert? Because let's do a mass insert first. So, we're just gonna. What do we want? We want hash. We want short IDs. We want format. We want puzzle JSON. We want author, title, counter ID. And I think for now that's that. Now, what we want to add in the future to these things is probably, well, I want to merge in data from analytics, but probably that won't happen in puzzle info. It'll happen through a separate thing. We want to import the counter data. That'll go into a database. So yeah, quite a few things, right? So now we can do something like this. See what that looks like. Boom. So it took 7.8 seconds to run through it all before. Why is it taking so long now? 10 seconds. Well, 10 seconds. Okay. It's not exactly an eternity. And let's also look at one of the entries, just to see what the data looks like, right? And the last step is we'll insert it. Later on, we'll worry about updating it and merging and so on. But I think considering these take a few seconds, I think it's okay to have, you know, spend a minute to import and parse all the data. Not really a big deal. All right, and it stays in the database, so technically we could probably query an index straight into it, right? Let's see, short ID. So it's no longer short ID, it's short IDs. So hopefully we can do this. Unique is no longer true. Hash, on the other hand, we do want to be unique. Short ID prefix we never sorted out. Ah. Oh, this was the one that set it up initially. Okay. Yeah. We can do that. Since we have multiple short IDs, I have a feeling that short IDs should become their own database. So let's skip the short ID prefix for now. Format, counter ID, author, title. Author for sure. Title, I'm not so sure. Because we rarely want to, like, title is an output piece of data. We very rarely, I mean, yeah, we want to search for a specific title, sure. But it's rare. But it's fine. All right. So if we do this, and I'm sorry, I'm moving a lot. I have an itch in the middle of my back. Okay. It's starting to get warm here already. It's pretty insane, actually. I'm not looking forward to this summer. Okay. So now we actually need to insert them, right? So find bulk or insert many. Ordered one. Don't remember exactly what that means. What does insert many ordered one mean? Insert multiple. Insert many options. Can I get collection, insert many? Yeah, this is an example. This is not documentation. All right. Bulk write options. So we have ordered. If true, when insert fails, don't execute the remaining writes. If false, continue with the remaining inserts when one fails. Inserts are ordered by default. Okay, so we don't actually need that. I see. Learned something. My phone is buzzing at me. It's reminding me that YouTube is live now. What? Listen, not useful. That is not useful. All right. Now, create puzzle info chatting. Basically gonna do that. Not puzzle store, puzzle info. Insert many. Bulk ops. Ordered one is actually not a thing we need to do. And then we'll do this. Okay, I think that's it. I messed up the syntax here somewhere. Wait. Yeah. Okay. I feel like their abuse of this kind of syntax is just... Like, why wouldn't the name of the syntax be the index of... Well, I guess because you have more than one index on the thing. I don't know. It feels strange. Duplicate key error collection dupe key. Okay. So did we already insert stuff here earlier? Yeah, I can delete it. Right. So if I refresh, I go in here and I do find. Nothing here. Hash is unique. But the hashes should also be unique on the other one, so they should carry through as being unique. So, duplicate key error collection, puzzle DB, puzzle info index, short ID. Wait. Short IDs are not... Okay, I need to remove these. Really? Alright. So if I run it now, that should work, right? Wait, what am I editing here? Stop editing the wrong things. So this aggregate is very similar to just a find. Aggregate without details. Okay. So now we have stuff like this. Short IDs, yada yada. So now we should be able to do some of the explorations. What did I call them? Explore puzzles. Explore puzzles. Oh, I didn't rewrite that. Alright. Explore puzzles. So these are the good ones. Okay. So slow puzzle. So now we do want to go in here. Right? Boom. Puzzle store, puzzle info. And we'll probably do puzzle yada yada API as well. API puzzles. Just in case we need to go. Just in case we need to refer back to the raw data. So puzzle info. Puzzle info. We don't actually want to project here yet. We don't really want to do this either. We do want to do a count total. If I do this, right, we get the count total. So, we don't necessarily even need to link into Puzzle Store right now at this stage. Okay, so what we can do is we can use this project and let's do a limit 1 here. Data count. I don't know. Short ID count 2. Okay. So now we can do a sort, a reverse sort by short ID count. Yeah. But, you know, this is just mapping to the number of short IDs. Can we aggregate by the number of authors, for example, right? So MongoDB, Node.js, group by. Can we do a group by? Group is an aggregation. Aggregation data. Field. Accumulator expression. So group average salary. So we have this, but right, let's do something else here. We should also be able to do something like I think we can just combine these together, right? Don't want this, don't want this, we don't need this. So we should be able to do something like a group and ID department. So ID would then be author, right? That's what it looks like to me. And then we'll do puzzle count, and that'll be sum 1, sum 1, right? These small hairs on my keyboard really distract me. Average we don't actually need. So if I do this, puzzle count 1, okay. But what if we sort it by puzzle count? -1. 6, 4, 6, 1. Okay, so this is author 0, so we probably want to do match author not equal string. Something like that. If I do this before group, that'll work. I think I need to match against the ID there, yeah. Now, this is interesting because I thought I had Clover pegged for the most puzzles. But it could be that Clover has more short IDs. So, puzzle count. If I do short ID count, sum. Size short IDs, is that? Short ID count. Ah. Oh. Okay. So we have 930 puzzles from unknown. Michael Lefkowitz has a lot of puzzles. Let's have a quick look at that. So we should be able to go here. Filter. Property. Author is Michael Lefkowitz. And total visits, total page views, unique. I don't actually know how I would find unique titles here. But if I say all time, he's been very prolific, unless there's something kind of messed up. But I think he's had quite a few features. Ooh. Does that look like a YouTube feature? Hypertension. Yeah, that's the sort of thing I would imagine. Alright, interesting. So, let us get the top 10 most prolific authors then. Now we're starting to get interesting, right? And also count total. How many authors do we actually have in total? 2,789. Okay. We can do average, right? So average puzzle count. Average salary. How does average salary come through here? Ah. Because you're grouping by department and you're counting how many employees have that department. So we're grouping by author, counting how many puzzles, how many occurrences of that author are in the database. Yeah, so unless there's a number of, so I could say the average short IDs, but no, that's not really useful. So if we do limit 100, right? it comes out like that. So, what if we do something like doc.id .author doc.puzzle count doc.short ID count. Right? And what if we do something like %s \t %s \t, and instead of that we do that. And that's basically a tab separated file. Right? Sorted by number of puzzles. Now it's interesting how it colors these differently. Maybe because of the tabs. Okay, and if we don't limit it, and we should be able to just pipe it without the type. Ooh. Should just pipe that into puzzles per author.csv. Right, and we should also be able to just say console.log author \t puzzle count \t short ID count. If we do this and do this and then open, oops, file is probably down. Oh, don't want that. Puzzles per author. Okay. So now we go full circle, right? And we'll just say import upload. Can I drag from here? Nope. We'll do that. And what do we end up with? A bone. Okay. Ew. I have a feeling one of these authors is not like the others. Oh. Okay. Well, that's something interesting. All right. There might be some secret guys in here as well. But that's now we can actually analyze some data here. For example, that super long author name is probably not real. So these, we probably want to line break these. Yeah, probably want to take these two. And shorty short. And we can do something like this. Total. We can just say some B3, B3, B, boom. Boom. These can like that. And come on. Wrap them. There we go. I never understood why I can't select 2 rows and freeze them. I have to select the second row and freeze. Then it'll give me the automatic freeze on those 2. Kinda annoying. Interesting. It also remembers which row it froze to. Okay, so that's interesting. It gets us, 930 on the unknown. Am I excluding a blank title, the blank author here? I think I might be. Yeah. We don't necessarily want to do that. Right? Because, blank author is an author. We might just replace it. Author or unassigned. Kind of like that. Did I create? Yeah, I did. All right. If I do re-import, ugh. I do this all the way to the bottom. I do Ctrl V at 5. Here, Ctrl V, and I'll do delete row. And I think probably want to do this and then Control. Okay. No. All right. Data cleanup. Remove duplicates. No. White space. Oh, great. That's not useful. It'll show me like a tease, and then it'll pop back. Can I just go there and not jump back? Oh man, that's annoying. All right. Yeah, that's the other thing, right? We might want to do some white space trimming. So right now, for example, 279. Like let's have a look here, right? How many rows are there? 2791. And we'll probably. Yeah, actually, I'm not going to do that now, but I'll go back into the import code and just like, hey, let's trim the white space. Makes sense, right? So, for example, under I think we can get rid of this now. Yeah, and we can get rid of this. Yeah, we'll rebuild that if we need it. Create puzzle store. Let me rename that. I don't know. I don't like load raw puzzles. I prefer load raw puzzles. I don't like insert raw puzzles. And we want to trim stuff here. Yep. Dot trim. Trim. I like that. All right, that's actually kind of cool stuff. We have unassigned. I'm gonna share some of that with Simon and Mark. This is exciting stuff. Actually, I want to count the authors as well. So if I do insert one above and I say count, I can do actually I can do this. I can say Equals author and count. A4 colon A. Boom. Don't know why it says 6. Google Sheet count if not empty. Non-empty cells in that range. Supercharge. No. Why do I get 6? 1 million. It still says 6. What? How to count non-empty cells? That doesn't look right. Count A? Ah, okay. If I do something like this. Yeah, I think that represents more accurately kind of, you know. Actually, why don't I just put this number here? If I just do this here. I think that is kind of simpler. Yeah, I think that looks about right. Let's do a little Quicko de Mayo. All right, I think that's a good start. So from here, there's gonna be a lot of sort of fiddly bits coming forward, right? So for example, a lot of these puzzles are gonna be super similar to each other. And I'd love to figure out an algorithm to kind of, I mean, obviously I can do like basic string distance stuff, right? Even just comparing the length of the data and things like that. That'll get us already a lot of puzzles that are within range of each other, you know? But of course, you know, let's say all classic Sudoku puzzles with the same number of givens are completely different puzzles, but will have very similar data, right? So it'll be interesting to see if I can identify puzzles that are the same puzzle, but like different stages of development, especially since like a lot of setters will not have the kind of like they might not have set the author and so on while they're building a puzzle, right? And of course, you know, depending on how often they test, the puzzle might change significantly, right? I mean, other checks we can do is solution. Solution might be a good check because, like, finished puzzles are much more likely to have a solution than unfinished puzzles, right? So let's have a quick gander at that because that's actually super interesting to me. So let us skip this. Yeah, that. Limit it like that, and go back to the timed call. And can we just output that? And can we find solution? I think the solution could work the same way as these others. So we might just do the same thing. That. But I'm assuming there's going to be much fewer puzzles with solution versus the other like author and title and so on. Like 50. Any solutions in the first 50? Yeah. Are we actually extracting metadata as well? Metadata. This is interesting, actually. So if we can grab that solution, I can just add that here. I will have to empty it out again, right? This is, what does this fill in? Puzzle info. We need to take puzzle info. We'll need to delete blah blah blah. Yes. Find, and then we'll just rebulk insert them with the solution. Drop. Nope. That was a mistake. Not just 50. Right? Takes about what, 10-15 seconds? Including parsing the data and all that. Bad. Oh, okay, interesting. So the parser takes this long. The bulk insert takes that long. Okay, interesting. All right. So now it gets a little more interesting. Okay, I'm gonna do this again just in case I accidentally call this and I don't want to mess around with the data and all that. If we go back to create explore puzzles here now, let's do a limit 5. We could, in theory, match solution not equal nothing, right? And if I just say count, don't do any of this stuff. What do we get? Total 1662. So we only have 1662 puzzles with a solution. That is terrible. Terrible. Holy moly. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So if I do this, huh? Solution not equal to nothing. Oh yeah. Yeah, well, we kinda do that. And that. And that. Oh. Some. Okay, so basically we want to count. So, group count non-empty. So, dollar aggregate, no, group sum matches. So how does sum work? Sum is a sum expression. So sum 1. Okay, well sum ones. So sum if. Can I do an if? Can I? Is there some sort of if expression? Some expression operations. Maybe we can do an if. If. Can we do an if? In is array range in it and if. An if. Condition. So we should be able to do something like solution count sum I think we can just do that, right? So we'll sum condition if Boolean expression. Okay, so we can do it like slightly less insane, still quite insane. So we'll basically say not equal expression condition if greater than equal, not equal solution empty string, then 1 else 0. That not equal condition solution is not defined. Solution. Dollar solution? The other way around. I'm gonna have to look at this slightly differently. Because right now, I don't see exactly what's happening here. So we want to project, right? So we wanna project a solution like that. So I basically want to count how many of the puzzles somebody made have solutions, that kind of thing, right? Dollar solution. Okay, and then we should be able to do something like sort by the length of the solution. So we should be able to do sort solution sort by size solution. We do this short solution length solution. I do this. What do I get? Argument size must be an array. Okay. MongoDB length of string. No, we don't want that. We don't want that. We'll just want to do. We'll just do a match solution, not E. Okay. Okay. So this is what non-empty solutions look like. So we should be able to do also something like sol int, right? and we'll do this, make this a condition. And the condition is gonna be, you know, this. And it should be a 0 or 1 if solution is equal to an empty string, it's 0. Okay, so I had it the right way around before. That's what I got wrong here. And if I say is equal to empty string, these are zeros. Okay, so this seems to be correct. Alright, I'm glad I did that, actually. Let's go back to here. So solution is not equals to empty. We get a 1, otherwise we get a 0. Okay, and I'm hopefully that'll make more sense, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, if we sort by solution count, who is going to be the top there? Because I have a sneaking suspicion that solutions will correlate with will basically correlate with how like with higher quality puzzles, right? Basically. All right. I think after this, I'll call it a day for this midweek stream because it's a bit of a experiment. Oh yeah, let me tell you guys. Ooh, not here. I'm working on a schedule. I want to kind of get into like a rhythm of doing certain things on certain days. And right now I'm looking into doing 2 more live streams, Mondays and Thursdays. Now they'll be in the morning, so most of you guys will probably not be around for them. But it's just for me to kind of have a basically a time block to do a certain kind of work. So this kind of forward-looking experimental stuff I'll do on Thursdays and probably on Sundays as usual. And then Monday morning I'll do user support. I'll go like through emails, I'll look at minor bug fixes, I'll see if I can find out why a particular puzzle doesn't work, that sort of thing. Because sometimes I'll realize that's all I do all week long, and I need to put it into one place so I can, I can say, hey, I'll do it on Monday. It'll go in the list, and I don't get sidetracked by all the emails I'm getting and spend too much time on Discord and all that sort of thing. Okay, so we have solutions. We have this stuff. Can we take this? Can the ID just be that? Like if I do this and I just output that and run that. ID blobs. And if I say object.values of the document, right? What do we get? Blobs, yada yada yada, right? So I might be able to just do away with this and then just do dot join with a tab, and then this is much simpler because they're just in the right order. Yeah. All right, and then we'll do this. Okay. And now, if we go back to here, did I limit it still? Yes. I was wondering, it was so fast. Oh, not much slower, actually. All right, we go back here. We go all the way down to here. Delete and insert. And what do we get? What do we get? Did I not have the unassigned? Yes. Okay. Can I Node.js provide default string replace? So can I just say I'm basically saying, can I say, if I make this a conditional, right? And I'll say, equal author empty string, right? If they're equal, we write unassigned, else author. I will do that, and then we'll do that, and that, and that, and then that. If I do this, right, and I go back here, we get the unassigns, and then the unknowns should be further down. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. We can go back here, all the way down, and can just go back here, paste that, stay at the top, delete this row, find the end of the data, and just erase the rest. Here, all the way down, delete rows. I wish there was like a trim command or something. Okay. And that didn't come through. Okay. Oh yeah, no, because here, F solution. W/solution. Something like that. So that shows the quality signals, right? And it's currently sorted by with solutions seem to be very close match. No, they seem to be identical. That is not right. Okay, that is not correct. Solution count. That doesn't make sense. Solution count and short ID count should not be the same. Put these there though. But they should not be the same. Condition solution. If solution is because they seem to be identical, right? Did I somehow exclude puzzles that don't have solutions? No, the number seems to be fairly high. There's plenty of solutions. Okay, what if... Oh, wait a second. Am I only counting puzzles with solutions? Yes, that was the problem. Okay. Alright. Zero the limit. Do it again. Short ID, puzzle count, short ID count, yada yada yada. Do that. Go here. If I go back to the bottom. Yeah, 276. I think it was much fewer rows. Yeah. That was weird. Okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna erase all the rows. Boom, right? We're gonna take that and move it there. Okay, we're gonna take that, stick it there, delete that row, and now we have 24,000 puzzles with solutions. Now, who are we sorting by? the ones with the most solution, right? The unassigned is still number 2, but not number 1 anymore, right? James Sinclair actually has more puzzles with solutions than the unassigned guys. No solutions equals this minus that. Yes. The Hall of Shame! That's not too bad. Look at that. Not too bad at all. Could be much worse. 22,000 puzzles without solutions. Oh, no, wait, huh? 22,000 without solutions. So I'm guessing, yeah, we have like a long tail. But these short IDs, alright, I'm very happy with this actually. I'm gonna post some of that. Awesome, okay, we've made some progress. We've cleaned up the scripts. We haven't done this yet. I'm actually gonna move that into load raw puzzles. Actually, I'm gonna add some spacings here. And I'm gonna add it here as well to remind myself. And then these, you know, I have to figure out how I'm gonna get rid of these. Right now I need them for to remind myself, like, I did a lot of work figuring all that stuff out. I just need to kind of clean it up now. And then probably maybe some of these. Like these two I'm not using at all. But they might still be referenced. I don't want to delete them at this point. Awesome. Alright. Don't link that. Cool. Puzzle closer to Katana. So these are the ones from my generated thing. These are basically puzzles I've been playing, I think. That's how they get in there. That's... that they make the top 15. That's a little hilarious. Oh man, I've been playing them so much. Here, these. Alright. Oh, there's Bremster. But there could be some... like, other things. Like, different spellings of the same name and things like that. So, there might be also, like, there might be cost to kind of create a table, let's say, for setters, right? And then find all the setter names that are within a certain string distance, right? And then kind of use them as aliases, similar to how short IDs are aliases to puzzles and things like that. Like Lizzie, for example, with a smiley face. Maybe there's a Lizzie without a smiley face, right? Why is there a phone number with, like... Oh, it's... I was like, why is it space in front? No, it's just aligned right because it sees it as a number. Like, who is 33554432? I don't know. And then, of course, we have that weird, super long, crazy one. And, you know, there could be corrupted data. It could also be somebody trying to mess with the system. I don't know. JWS Sinclair, for example, that's, you know, just James Sinclair. So, but it's just one, so it's not really a big loss. But there might be a couple others like that in here with slightly different spellings, capitalizations, and so on and so forth, right? Yeah. Let me see, actually. If I search for James, we have 14. James Cobb, James Peter, James Madison, James Bork, James Callum, James Reynolds, Owen Durham, Pi James, Henry Pi James, James Daniel Peter. That's it. Okay, so Sinclair. Yeah, so Sinclair only has these two. But he's super organized as well. That's why he's at the top. Clover, on the other hand, we have... that's 105 puzzles there. 11, 12, 2... collabs are different, and 744. So she's missing out like 100 puzzles just because of the different names and such. So, you know, it makes sense to do that. Did I run it again? What did I change just now? I forgot. I don't know. Let's report. Anyways. If I just select these all of these, boom, delete. Insert from here, delete row, and then this is just gonna be this minus this. Boom. Yes, autofill. Can I shorten it like that? As sol, no sol. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. 2,762 authors. All right, that's it. Enough rumbling on. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. I didn't announce it, so nobody knew about it. I'm just kind of getting warmed up to this new schedule, but I'd like to stream more often and getting work done. Awesome. Take care. Have a good rest of the week. Bye-bye.